Devil's Fork State Park is accessed from South Carolina Highway 11, the Cherokee Foothills National Scenic Highway. The park is located on Lake Jocassee Road and provides the only public access to the lake. The origin of the name Devil's Fork is obscure. An area creek was called Devil's Fork as early as 1780 for long forgotten reasons. It's said to be because back in the day, it was a devil of a time getting there. For many people, September recalls a time of trauma that reverberated for years around the globe. Many of us have healed from individual and collective traumatic histories in our lives. Before healing happens, however, you are in the dark. You live in a perpetual night, and you are terrified. You try to run, you try to hide, you try to make sense of what happened, but you know deep down that it doesn't really matter what happened, because at some level you have felt this fear deep inside yourself for much of your life. And then it comes again, and this time you decide to confront it, look it square in the face, talk back to it, yell if you need to. Teach your terror words as you would with a toddler in a tantrum to express her feelings. In opening to fear, you learn to take care of yourself. Learn that pushing and doing what you want whenever you want to do it, no matter how fun or exciting it might be, is not a good idea. You learn to find your balance. You learn to find your rhythm. Learn to take the medicine. Learn to make your own medicine. And then you relax. The fear might still be out there. She still has her territory, and if you try to take it, she will still terrify you. But if you learn to keep good boundaries, roam your own territory, and be yourself, she will leave you alone. The fear will leave you be. Be human. It is commonplace in our culture to believe that in trauma and loss is the possibility of gain. This philosophy exists in American ideology and in Christian theology, and even in our deepest understandings of how history works. It is so deep in us that we often don't recognize it. People say, one door closes and another opens, and everything happens for a reason, or it's all for the best, and finally, he's in a better place. But trying to cash out loss in this way allows violence to continue. Think about this question. If traumatic violence ends in loss, and this loss ends up making things better in the end, why would we ever want to stop the violence? All of us have something that scares us. It could be a fear of something unlikely or seemingly inconsequential, like snakes or flash floods or speaking in public. Or it could be something existential or foreboding, like war or the return of abuse. No matter what your fear is, it is helping to define who you are by remaining in the shadow. When you bring it out into light through writing, it no longer rules you quite as unconsciously. Instead, it becomes integrated into your waking conscious self, and you are free to choose what you want instead of running away from what you don't. Take some time and go outside with your journal to a place where you feel comfortable and where you won't be disturbed. Give yourself whatever you need to feel safe and comfortable as you write. A dog nearby, a blanket, a pillow, or food and music, or a friend or therapist or writing coach, and begin to write. What do you most fear right now? What would it mean to have courage? When you are finished writing, put your journal down and let your lesson rise. Good writing is like homemade bread and takes time to rise. Resist the urge to read it over, criticize, cross out, or share too soon. Let it alone. Give it time. Give yourself time too. You are writing for the person you are becoming. Then, later, a week, a month, a year, return to what you have written and read it now that the writing and you have had time to rise. From this perspective of the self you are rising into and becoming, what some people call the higher self, and I call the deep inner voice of wisdom, you will be able to reflect back upon your earlier writing and have the wisdom to understand what your deep inner voice was saying.